Hey everybody, it's Carolyn McGee from Healing Through the Heart. It is so wonderful to be here again with you today. This week we are talking about our second chakra and how that impacts our inner brilliance, our inner wisdom, our intuition. And the second chakra is really all about creativity. So what do you think of when you hear the word creativity? I know for me, when I was younger growing up, I had a very narrow viewpoint on this, and I only thought of people who could paint or could draw or write a song, or writers. You know, I was very narrow on my ability to see past that. That's the way it was taught to me, that certain people are creative and certain people aren't. You know, certain people have other skills, but they're not necessarily creative. And, you know, it was a person who could create beauty from their imagination, but it was all centered on beauty and not centered on our own inner brilliance. As I grew up and as I started my spiritual path, I realized that we really are all artists. We're all here with a unique mission. We have something that empowers us, that drives us. It's our purpose. And whatever our purpose is, we are going to be creative and passionate about bringing that out into the world, about taking that inner vision and turning it into something tangible. And that's what the energy is of that second chakra. So, you know, it could be that you're creative in making the most amazing Excel spreadsheets. You know, it could be that, you know, you're a chef or you're an architect, or you have a really cool way to create community. All of these different ways, all of these different things, they're creativity. They're ways to use that inner energy that we have in our second chakra, in that sacral energy, to make the world a better place. And that's what creativity is to me. So when we're healthy and our second chakra is open and balanced, then we're open to possibilities. We see life through a joyful and inventive way. We're open to lessons, we're open to learning, we're open to sharing. Everything feels comfortable. We don't have all of those questions of, is it right, is it wrong, and do I need to do this? When the sacral is blocked, this powerful life force energy is shut down, and we become numbed. So the primary challenge in this area is guilt. Guilt and shame that we're not doing enough, or that we're doing too much and that we're not doing it right. That's where it lives. It lives in that part of our body. Now, if it's underactive, we can have really rigid boundaries. Like there is only one way to do this, my way or the highway. Those are all examples of an underactive and not completely open sacral chakra. Or, you know, not letting energy in, you know, not even being able to be joyful, not being able to appreciate a sunset. There's just nothing coming into the system. There's almost as if there's a wall there where energy is completely blocked. Depression is a big indicator of an underactive, underdeveloped second chakra. A lack of motivation, that is a huge one. You know, just apathy, not really wanting to engage in life, just kind of going through the motions. That's an indicator that there's problems there. Along with that energy is emotional numbness. Again, just apathy, not really feeling like there's a joyful reason for existence. And the inability to connect with others, whether it's to recognize likenesses. You know, it's the us versus them that lives down in that second chakra. Now, there's also challenges when this chakra is too open or in overdrive or is overdeveloped. Weak boundaries. So you let in too much. You take on everybody's stuff. You take it all in and it becomes yours. That is definitely a challenge here. Poor discretion about sex and intimacy. So you take on that instead of affection, or that may be a way you validate yourself, or you just can't set good boundaries around that. So you just have to take a look at that. And what is your motivation? Is it connection, or is it to be loved? So that's energy just open for evaluation. And also poor discretion about emotional expression. That open book, the person who's total poor me and is always throwing out all of their stuff, and the victim, and looking for support or validation about how the world is against them, that lives down in the second chakra. The other piece is looking outside for validation. You don't have a strong sense of who you are, so you're constantly looking outside, and that lives a little bit up in the solar plexus too, but a lot of it, the root of it, is down in the second chakra. And another big way is addictions. So you are numbing yourself. You're looking outside of yourself for a way to calm down your nervous system. And it could be addictions to shopping, to gambling, to sex, to alcohol, to drugs, you name it, to food. There's to chocolate. There's a lot of ways that people soothe sugar. There's a lot of ways that people soothe their energy and numb down that feeling, or that hyper feeling they're having, to try and engage and feel in the world. So when we are balanced, when this energy is in the flow, it's magic, because we then are open to new ways of seeing and being. It's like that childhood wonder that we all had as kids that then becomes energetically present to be utilized. So when our creativity in our second chakra is blocked, we can't feel our intuitive knowingness. Now, that intuitive knowingness, sometimes it comes from the outside. It comes from our angels. It comes from our guides. It comes from our animal friends. But if we are blocked in the second chakra, then we can't feel that connection. We can't implement that information that is coming into us. And it also is where our empathy lies. So if we're blocked here, or not allowing energy to flow openly, then we're not going to be able to feel what the possibilities are. We're going to be rigid, or we're going to be so busy searching outside of ourselves that we can't implement that beautiful divine energy that's coming into us. So how can we go about opening this up a little bit? Well, one way is to be playful. The second chakra comes into play from the time we're about a year until, I believe, around 2.5. So that's the time that we're separating a little bit. We're learning how to walk. We're exploring. We're being very creative. And so being playful really will energize that energy and open it up for you. And also, if you try to look at things with a slightly different perspective. Now, my dog Mac, when he doesn't really understand what I'm asking of him, he turns his head. He just kind of does this thing. So, 5-10 degree little tilt off to the side. And it shifts the energy. It shifts the telepathic and the heart-centered energy between he and I. And he can kind of clear things up a little bit. And sometimes if he's really concerned, he'll do this. And then I'll do that. So it helps shift things and open things up. And by doing that, we can connect in a deeper way. So I invite you to shift your perspective slightly to try and open up your second chakra. look at things from a joyful perspective. Reach out for support with somebody to maybe clear away energy that's either stuck there or perhaps is just too open so that you can't feel your own energy. It's such a valuable, important part of who we are. And my wish for you is that you all can completely enjoy that energy and just feel vibrant and connected and joyful. So I will see you all next week. We will be talking about the solar plexus and the energy of confidence. So have a blessed week. And if you need anything from me, please do reach out, Carolyn@carolynmcgee.com. And I would love to hear from you either by email or comments. And of course, you can certainly private message me. Have a fabulous week, everybody. Love you. Bye-bye.